Solve the following system of equations graphically on the set of axes below. As I said in the level 1 video, we always want to have our equations into slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where the letter m stands for our slope, and that's typically a fraction that's rise over run. Our b value is where it crosses the y-axis. So like I said in the last video, I tell kids that when we graph, we'll begin with b and move with m. Now the nice thing about this set is the first equation's already in slope-intercept form, so all that you have to do in this set is identify what your m and b are. So right here, just like in the last video for the level 1, is anytime you have a negative x or a positive x, you can always put 1 in front. And so I'm going to mark it as a negative 1. But then because m is typically a fraction in which you have rise on top over run in the bottom, I can go ahead and make any integer, and again, integer is defined as positive, negative whole numbers. I can make negative 1 a fraction by putting it over 1. My b value is to the right of x, and that's going to be the number 5. Now the problem with the second equation is it is not in slope-intercept form. So we're going to have to use the properties of equality to go ahead and solve for y. Because notice right here that our y value is isolated on the left side. Our x term, which typically has a number in front of it, whether you see it or not, is on the right side, and then the b value is to the right of x. So that's what we're going to do. So my first step with this equation is typically to get rid of the x term, to move it to the right side. So because this is a positive x, you could put a 1 in front to make it a positive 1x if you feel more comfortable with that, or you could leave it x. I'm going to put a 1 there because I think a lot of kids pay closer attention to it when there's numbers in front. So if that's 1x, I would use the subtraction property of equality, and that's a fancy way of simply saying subtract 1x on both sides. 1x subtract 1x cancels, so I'm going to bring down this negative 2y. So I have negative 2y is equal to, the x term comes first, so I've got negative 1x, and then bring down that negative 4. So we're almost done. Now we have this negative 2 that's sitting directly to the left or in front of the y right here. Now this is negative 2 multiplied by y, so my second step is to divide by a negative 2 on both sides. Now because there's two terms on the right side, and sometimes what we have on the right side will simplify, I'm actually going to divide the negative 1x by negative 2, and I'm going to divide the negative 4 by negative 2. On the left, the negative 2 divided by negative 2 changes to a positive 1, and 1 times y would simplify to y. That's why I'm just going to cross those off. Again, 1 times y is y. On this side, I have a negative divided by a negative, which is a positive. So if we get rid of the negative signs, my m, or my value to the left of x, that's my multiplier, this is going to be a positive 1 over positive 2x. Then my b value is a negative 2 divided by negative 4, which results in a positive 2. Now that we've used the properties of equality to solve for y, because you have to do that first, all right, I often dock marks if you don't show using the properties of equality to solve for y. Now we're going to go ahead and identify what our m value and our b value is, just like we did in the first one. And let's see, our m value is going to be 1 over 2. And then my b value is 2. And now we can go ahead and we can start graphing these. So my b value for the first one is positive 5. So from the origin, I'll go up 5. And then I'll use my m of negative 1 over 1 to go down 1, right 1. My b value in the second equation is 2. So I'll begin by going up 2. And then I'll use my m of 1 over to do 2, to go up 1 and then right 2. And so it looks like the intersection we have is right here. My x value you can see is 2, and then my y value is 3. So into the set of parentheses, I'll put shift 9 to begin my parentheses, and then I'll put positive 2, comma, positive 3, and shift 0 to close the parentheses, and there you have it. We should get a green check mark, and we're good to go. So do the steps that we've written in green, although you don't have to write that again. Make sure that you identify the m. So let me scroll down a little bit. Make sure that you identify the m and the b in the first equation. Use the properties of equality to solve for y. And then identify the m and the b in the second equation. And there you have it.